the suburb that we operate our business in, it's an area with huge socio-economic challenges. There's also a limited amount of industry that can actually accommodate the population in that area. So the answer, it's not really big businesses or large enterprises to reduce the unemployment rate. It's to look at other mechanisms in order to create jobs and to create opportunities. And in our view, entrepreneurship will definitely be the answer for that. What we've done as Hisense specifically, we've partnered with a company called Art Labs, which is a local social entrepreneurship organization and a not-for-profit organization, where we are giving them our platform that we have in the area to engage the community around how they can use entrepreneurship to change their social conditions. So bearing in mind that we only established our business about 12 months ago in the area, so we haven't been there for a long time, so we're trying to implement a lot of initiatives while we're trying to get the business going. But for us, that's a key program that we believe will assist in terms of having an impact on entrepreneurship. And I'll give you a quick example. The one lady in Atlantis, she used to make clothing, but she never had a distribution channel, or she couldn't establish a connectivity with the market. And through this program, they've actually given her the technological tools to actually engage a market that's outside of her geography. And in that way, now she's managed to set up her own business, and now she's starting to look after her family, running an enterprise like that. So we believe initiatives like that will aid the assistance of creating new entrepreneurial startups. And that's the role that we can play. Yeah, it's quite a difficult one, because normally when you are social entrepreneurs, the ones that we talk to, and from our experience, they are more along the lines of like looking at software platforms, they're looking at mobile platforms, how do they use a mobile system to create revenue for themselves, or how do they use a web-based tool to engage a market. So it's more along those lines. But I think there are other opportunities that's coming through, opportunities around waste management specifically. I believe that's a big opportunity, and especially in that specific area, there's a lot of waste management opportunities. And with our company, as an example, if we had a what they call a cooperative of social entrepreneurs that can actually monetize the waste that we produce and then translate it into revenue, we will look at something like that. But you can't start there. You have to start with the skills. They need the skills first. They need the understanding of how to do these things, and then I think we can move towards the cooperatives, where we can actually bring entrepreneurs to work together. So you give them scale, you give them management scale, and then eventually, once they have that expertise, then they can branch out on their own and do their own business afterwards. So we believe it's sort of a sequencing process that they need to go through. Besides my role as the Deputy General Manager for Hisense, I sit on the board of the Western Cape Economic Development Partnership, which is a funded, co-creating economic think tank funded by the Western Cape government. And we actually talk about these things more often than when I'm at Hisense. But when we talk about these things, it really comes down to how do we look at the communities and get communities to work together. And I think the one example that you find in India, and even like countries like Bangladesh, they tend to create an entrepreneurial environment and an ecosystem where they keep whatever currency is what we refer to as the rand. They keep the rand in the community. So instead of letting that currency or that capital that they are spending between each other to move out of the area, they need to create that economic ecosystem where they keep the value inside the suburb. And I think that, from a structural and a framework point of view, need to be put in place first before we look at it in an isolated scenario. Otherwise, we're going to have a disaggregation of efforts instead of an aggregation of efforts in scale. I think the special thing for us is, and that's why we've been a corporate partner, is that the underlying thinking around linking entrepreneurship and that social element, including the burning issue which we are very, very patriotic about and passionate about, is the green economy. and how do you run a sustainable business. So we always hear all these jargon words about triple bottom line and adding this sustainability part, but it's really a scenario of how do you actualize all that talking on platforms. And we believe that with the seed initiative, it takes the talking in forums and bypassing discussions, and it actually actualizes that into efforts that's happening on the ground. And you can see with the hordes, sort of incentivizing and offering support to emerging entrepreneurs around that space. That's the real impact that we'll have, and that's why we believe that this initiative is an important initiative to act as a change agent. And we believe that we need to be involved in initiatives that act as a change agent, and we believe this is something that's there right at the forefront.